to Teaching Tip Tuesday. My name is Michelle, aka the Ignited Teacher. You see my name on the screen. And you're on Teaching Tip Tuesday live. And thank you so much for joining me, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, because I'm live streaming to those um, three different platforms. So thank you for joining. If you're new here on Teaching Tip Tuesday, what I do is help math teachers of struggling learners to effectively manage their classrooms and to increase student achievement. And you probably are saying, well, how do you do that? Well, I do it through math intervention, technology integration, project-based learning, just some good old math instruction and pedagogy, and classroom management with response to intervention skills with well, people ask me about classroom management, and I use a lot of different techniques which helps our students to be more or recognize themselves in our classroom. So, yeah, so if you're here and you show up live and one day you can't make it, you can definitely catch me on the replay. I upload these videos and they stay on YouTube forever. So if you ever miss an episode, you can catch it on YouTube. On Facebook, I keep them pinned to the top of my Facebook pages for the week. After that time, they get lost in the feed. So, but you can also catch it on the YouTube channel. So, here are three reasons why you want to tune in to Teaching Tip Tuesday. Because if you are a new teacher to the content area, you want to tune in. If you're working with students in urban areas, special population students, that can be ELL students, special education students, 504 students, and just those students that are working below grade level, this is the channel for you. Also, I have a blog, fuelgrayminds.com. That blog, you can catch my blog post, and I generally upload a new blog post every Saturday. So if you are looking for those different topics, math intervention, some good instructional strategies, as well as classroom management, I can't talk tonight. Classroom management with those culturally responsive teaching skills in there, and culturally responsive management skills, that's where you want to look. Also, I have technology integration because we are in a time where technology is going to help supplement our instruction for the upcoming school year. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. A lot of people have asked me about my opinion on what's going on, and I'm going to give you what I really feel about what's going on in the education space. So, if you want to check out my blog, you can check it out on fuelgrayminds.com. So, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, I want to address this whole thing with reopening schools. So, the president came on today with his little horse and pony show, parading teachers from private schools and children from private schools. It wasn't even a diverse set of people talking about, oh, we need the schools back open. Now, I have been very vocal about how sad it is, because I need to choose my words carefully, how sad it is that the American people really don't care about teachers' safety. They really don't. And to be honest with you, they don't really care about nurses' safety. The American people have caused schools to be in the position that we're in. Way back in, I want to say April, May, we were closing down schools, and I remember having a conversation. I said, when it's time for schools to open up, people are going to wonder why the schools can't come up with the plan. Now, I'm not a fan of my school district and how they do things, but one thing I do recognize is that they can't do or do have a plan because the public will not take this virus seriously. And we are the ones who are suffering because actually, in reality, you're putting us in harm's way. Now, you might not think or want to believe, well, I had one lady who had the bright idea to come on my Instagram post and tell me, well, if you weren't going to be selfless, why did you go into education? It wasn't to catch a coronavirus and kill off my own family. That's for sure. One reason why I didn't go into teaching. I did not go into teaching to be exposed to a virus that could kill my own son, who's an asthmatic. So, no, teachers are selfless when it comes to educating students. We're not bodies. We didn't sign up for the National Guard. I didn't sign up in the Army. I'm not a body bag. And you have these people running around here saying, well, the schools will reopen. First of all, teachers are, worried, because the president is around here with this rhetoric. If you look back at your Constitution, he does not have a right to open schools. It's these governors that we have elected that have aligned themselves with the foolishness, because that's really what it is. We in Texas, we hit a 10,000 mark of positive coronavirus today. 10,000. And yet you're just going to throw people's children out in this. And then we had the Texas Education Agency that rolls out their plan saying that you have to have in-person um, in-person instruction as one of your options. Okay. So you want to be liable because people are very narrow-minded and short-sighted because there is a such thing as litigation. And these school districts are in a tight spot because I'm going to tell you, when teachers start to get sick, they will start to band together and sue the school district. They are. And parents are going to sue the school district. So they have to be careful when opening these schools. And then you have the governor of Florida with his foolishness, saying that there's no online learning and kids need to be this. When we already have a shortage of teachers, and teachers are already looking for other options. They are. Because it makes no sense. You're really forcing teachers' hands to choose between contracting a virus and spreading it to their families, or to leave the profession. Now, we don't have that many teachers anyway, but I am hopeful that something revolutionary will come out of this as it pertains to education and educators. I'm hopeful that teachers, we will finally find our voice and do something collectively as a profession. Some teachers are like, well, we were trained to teach. Bump that. Yes, we were trained to teach, not to go and put ourselves intentionally in harm's way. My school district doesn't clean on a regular. So do you expect them to clean like they want them to clean the buses after every route? Who's going to do that? And then they want the janitor. We don't even have enough custodial staff for our school district. And then you think they're going to clean? Yeah, right. And then let's not even talk about PPE. They didn't even supply the nurses and doctors with enough PPE here in Texas. So you want us to go out there and be in the same boat. So those are the things that we're talking about. But I'm hopeful that teachers will band together and, set the public straight. We're not your glorified babysitters. We're none of that. Yes, we take our job seriously. We're teachers. But we're people too, because I'm looking in the camera. We're people too. We have families that we love and we have people that love us. So no, we're not a martyr for your little cause. Yes, children need to be in school, but not at the expense of teachers. And that's what I have to say about that. So moving right along to math intervention. Now, tonight's episode is about finding the right intervention, because a lot of teachers, when they join my Facebook group, and yes, I have a Facebook group that is for math intervention, where you can get questions asked. I'm in the group. If you tag me in, and I'll answer questions about math intervention. Well, they always say they're looking for ideas and resources. It's always one of the two: ideas, resources. And in one of the last episodes, I talked about where math intervention is more about people, not programs. And even if you bought a program, it's really up to the teacher or the person, um, and how they implement it to where the intervention is going to be successful. So, yeah, that's neither here nor there. But tonight's topic is about, finding your the right intervention for your students. Now, people ask me, well, how do you know where to start? Now, that's a process. And one of the things that a lot of teachers don't do, and it's not that we intentionally do it, it's just that when we get started, our days are fast. They move, move, move. You're teaching classes, you're moving, you're constantly going, 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 but we never kind of take the time to reflect and look at student work. Your interventions and where you begin first starts with analyzing student work. Now, you're probably saying, well, why do I need to analyze student work if I could see where the kid? Because what the student puts on paper is final. I know some teachers are like, but he knows that he knows, but that's not what he put on paper. So, whatever is on paper, that's what you use to guide you. And you group those students up together in one group that have similar problems. So, say for instance, always when I taught fifth grade, it's always 2 by 2 multiplication. Why do I start with that? Because the overarching theme for fifth grade math is multiplication and division. Can you apply it to fractions, decimals? And can you do it with all 4 operations? That's just it. You know, fractions and decimals are new to fifth grade. So they have to take what they know about multiplication and apply it to those concepts. That's what makes it so difficult. But then you have kids that are not proficient in multiplication. And I know that. So every year I started with 2 by 2 multiplication. I start teaching on the first day. Some teachers wait till the second day. No, you're going to get in this work day one. So we start with 2 by 2 multiplication after we do the formalities. Hi, I'm Miss Williams. I'm going your fifth grade teacher. Go to my little rules, and then we get into work. So then, two by 2 multiplication. One of the things that I look for is place value. Do they understand why these numbers are moving like that? And the kids can solve the problems the way that they want to. So they can solve them with the area model. They can do that expanded form. It's another, I think they call it something else, but in my mind, it's like expanded form because it has the the zeros in it. So yeah, I do that. And then some kids might come in using that lattice method. I don't really care for the lattice method. The area model and the that expanded form is really fine with multiplication. So if they come in doing that, we're on to a pretty good start because I can transition the kids from that to the standard algorithm. And some people are saying, well, why do you have to do the standard algorithm? Because that's what my curriculum says in the state of Texas. The standard algorithm is one of it's the strategy in fifth grade. They have to transition from the other strategies to the standard algorithm, because what happens in middle school, they are going into slope, y equals mx plus b. And the children have to be proficient with the standard algorithm in fifth grade. Well, back to what I was saying about place value. If my students are struggling just with the procedure, and I'm not even talking about understanding, I know that they're going to have a problem long term, because that means that they're weak in understanding that place value and how it connects to the 2 by 2 multiplication, which is a fourth grade skill, mind you. They're not going to be able to do the 3 by 2. So that's where I start. I go back and I teach them about place value and why we do certain things. And then I break down algorithm. That's where my intervention starts, with that place value. Because if the kids don't understand, I can tell you it's a place value issue, which if I'm looking long term, I know it's going to be an issue with decimals, because what do we have? Place value and decimals. Not only do we have the left of the decimal point, we have the right now. So if they're struggling with place value and whole numbers, they're definitely going to struggle with place value and decimals. So that's why I say analyzing your student work is important. The second thing, and I've said this in a live stream before, you must know the curriculum, what the kids needed to know for the grade level that you teach, and what they need to know in the next grade level or course that they're going to take. So for high school, I support kids with Algebra 1. So they're going to either take geometry or Algebra 2. What are some things that they're going to need for those courses to make them be successful? So you have to know where the kids are coming from and where they're going. If you don't, you're going to struggle with your intervention. Your interventions are based on your capacity to create a plan for your students. That's what it is. And there's not a program out there that's going to tell you, what do I need for Joshua? What do I need for Kevin? It can't tell you that, because every intervention is tailored to that specific student. So start with analyzing your student work. Group the kids that have similar issues and know the overarching themes for your grade level, for elementary, for high school, Algebra 1. I know that linear equations is the overarching theme. How do I know that? Because in the state of Texas, they give you the blueprint for the STAR test. The readiness standards are pretty much what the kids have to master to be ready for the next course. So if you're in the state of Texas or any other state, look at what is the overarching theme from unit to unit, skill to skill, because it will show you multiplication and division for fifth grade. For fourth grade, it was a lot of place value. Place value here, place value there. That's what fourth grade is. Now, third grade used to be a really tough grade level, but before Common Core and these gumbo Common Core standards, with Texas likes to hoot and say, oh, we outlawed Common Core. Yeah, everybody's using a version of Common Core. So they are actually pushing everything really to fourth grade. Fourth grade is a difficult grade to teach now. Third grade used to be hard, but it no longer is. That fourth grade curriculum has a lot of different concepts, and it's so many different strategies that the children have to learn. It's a wonder that they learn any of them, because they have so many listed in the curriculum. So you have, like, back to what I was saying about the knowing how to find the right intervention. Knowing where to start is key. Where do I start? So if you analyze their student work, then you group the kids that have similar struggles. Then you start with, What strategy do I want to use? Please don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That means do not take your students to your small group table and start all the way over. You will be unhappy. Now, you can fix those skills with like going back and in the vertical alignment and finding another skill to strengthen what the children don't know, because normally it's like a gap in learning when they're at that table. So you can do that, but do not start over at your intervention table. I'm telling you, I never start over. Some of the children, they generally have some idea, but a lot of them, it's just like fixing different things. Now, I know tier two says that you're supposed to do it differently. The only thing that I do differently is, for example, with division. Say, for instance, my kids are not doing well with the standard algorithm. So, what I would do is scaffold it up. I will start with two-digit dividends divided by one-digit divisors. And then we talk about that. And I teach them how the T chart, and we label. I do extra things like we label. This is the top, this number goes at the bottom. And then we apply what we learned to three-digit dividends and one-digit divisors. And then we keep going on. So then after maybe 3 weeks of intervention, because division takes forever. Actually, division is 9 months of teaching because they give us 2 weeks of teaching division. I never teach division the way that my district says, because I know full well that it takes all year for kids to learn division. So what I do is I introduce it, and then the rest of it, they get it in small group. That's how I do it. So I introduce to everybody. Whoever gets it, gets it. Those kids don't go to intervention. The kids that don't get the division come to my intervention. And as they master it, they get out, they leave the group. Once they master, and then by the time I have everybody, division is over. And it has worked. And that's how I've been doing it for the past 2, 3 years. It works. Multiplication. You can't teach that in a week. That's a whole year long process. 3 by 2 multiplication, because kids are going to forget. They're going to forget to put the zero, and it's not a placeholder. The zero goes there because you're multiplying by 10. Getting them to understand that concept takes all year long. So knowing where to start, and knowing that you're not supposed to start all the way over is key. It's key, it's key, it's key. But you have to collaborate with other teachers. If you teach fourth grade, you should be collaborating with that third grade teacher, because there are strategies that she uses that you're going to need for your students. Also with the second grade teacher, it's some things that you're going to need that she or he uses for your fourth graders. So you have to collaborate. You can't be the lone ranger. I wasn't it for fifth grade. I'm definitely not it for Algebra 1. And I talked to my colleagues, the teacher development specialist. She became my friend because I needed her to help me see things, because I had so many kids with so many issues. So that's my process for finding the right intervention. The first step is to analyze your student work. The second step is to group your kids that have similarities in misconception. And the third one is find your overarching theme. What do they need to know? What is this concept? Why are they behind? And then hone in on that and make it part of your intervention. Then collaborate with someone below. This is, say, for instance, fifth grade stick skill. What did they need to know from fourth grade to master? And I know Lead Forward in Houston has a vertical alignment document. Our district, we're fortunate enough to have a copy of it, but it's very helpful because it already has the vertical alignment for you. So I am happy to say that my Math Intervention Academy is going to be launching next week. And I'm excited about that. I cannot wait. I am really, working on creating a community because what we're about to go through, and myself included, I am not taking myself out of the equation. I am still a teacher. So whatever you're feeling, I'm feeling it too. I have colleagues that are sick with the coronavirus, and it is a serious thing, but we have to have a support system, and it's going to be crazy next year. It really is. And we have to band together, find our communities, get support, and kind of weather this storm. And one of the things I do know that it nothing lasts forever. This will not last forever. There was a tweet by one of our former superintendents that said, you know, if we're not comfortable with teachers getting sick, some are going to get sick, some are not, some are going to die, children are going to sick, some may die, then we don't need to open schools. And I was kind of mortified at what he said, but then I thought about it. I said it's right. That we are going to have some teachers that are going to say, I am not ready to see my colleagues get sick. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to see their family members. I have a friend right now, her husband was exposed and he's at home battling the coronavirus, and it's a real issue. But you have to find your people, and trying to do intervention should be the least of your concern. Let me help you get through that and not have to find different things, because it's going to be rough. It really is. I'm trying to get my mindset together because my concern is definitely not me. I feel like, I have a decent immune system, but I do not want to contract something and make my son, expose my son to that, because he has asthma. And the coronavirus is a respiratory illness. It really is. But get on the wait list for the Math Intervention Academy. You can go to mathinterventionacademy.com and get on the wait list. And I will start sending out emails. I'm starting next Monday, and we're going to get that up and rolling. We'll start um, mid-August, but getting acquainted in the community and starting out with a foundation module for July to get you started in understanding, you know, what math intervention is, how can you definitely support your tier 2 students with everything that's going on, because fact of the matter is we got the state of Texas trying to make us take the STAR test. It's ridiculous. It really is. With everything that's going on, you don't even know what's going to happen, but yet you want to spend millions of dollars on a vendor, on booklets and online platforms, which is it's going to be a mess. So, you know, that's all I have for Teaching Tuesday. I'm not going to get on my soapbox with the whole testing thing, but if you're interested, definitely go to mathintervention.com, and I'll see you in my next live stream.